I'm not fighting no more. Kelly, let me do my job. I just told you I didn't want to do no interviews, and you said you are going to do interviews. Now you told me to do interviews. Now you're trying to take me away from them. No. Let me show Dante's Boxing Nation some love.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So Anthony Joshua makes it very clear, and when I say very clear, I really mean very clear, what he plans on doing if he gets past Andy Ruiz in December. Not only did he double down when he said previously, don't ask him about Wilder or Fury fighting them, but he also went further. He said, I'm taking an easy fight right after this. Matter of fact, let me quote exactly what Anthony Joshua had to say. When AJ was asked if he's going to give Andy Ruiz a rematch if he wins, he replied, no, I'm going to fight some guy from the pub. That's what the heavyweight division does, isn't it? I said, why am I fighting all these solid contenders? I'm going to fight an easy fight after that. That's why when you ask me who I'm fighting next, I'm telling you, I fight who I want. Don't tell me about no Wilder or Fury. Take it how you want. But that's what I see the heavyweight division's about. End quote. Now, the first thing I will say in response to that is I don't see that as a major problem. If AJ were to avenge his first loss and then fight a guy out of the pub, as he says, take on an easy fight, a cherry pick. But at the same time, I just find that statement ironic because Andy Ruiz was supposed to be an easy fight. For those of you guys who don't remember, he was a last-minute replacement opponent, and we see how that fight turned out. You know, since we often compare this situation to former heavyweight champion Lennox Lewis' situation when he was knocked out by Hasim Rahman. Similar situation, huge upset. It was supposed to be an easy fight for Lennox Lewis. He got knocked out, but we know he came back and he avenged that loss. Now, let's just look at the dichotomy. When it comes to Lennox Lewis, and you know Lewis and AJ, they've been kind of feuding, going back and forth. But by way of contrast, once again, AJ, he's saying he wants an easy fight after the Andy Ruiz fight, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's understandable, actually. But by way of contrast, Lennox Lewis, after he avenged his loss to Hasim Rahman, you know who his next two opponents were? Mike Tyson and Vitaly Klitschko. Vitaly Klitschko was Lennox Lewis's version of Deontay Wilder. In other words, Deontay Wilder is looked at as AJ's arch nemesis. Vitaly Klitschko was looked at as Lennox Lewis's arch nemesis. Not only did Lennox Lewis take the Vitaly Klitschko fight, which was the toughest fight of his career, but he took it on short notice. Vitaly Klitschko was a replacement opponent because his opponent had pulled out, something happened, and Lennox Lewis couldn't fight him. At the last minute, he decided to take on the toughest opponent of his career. Matter of fact, Lennox Lewis's last 5 opponents of his career was David Tua, the undefeated David Tua, Hasim Rahman twice, Mike Tyson, and then Vitaly Klitschko. Boy, that's a hell of a way to go out right there. So hopefully, you know, AJ, if he does beat Andy Ruiz, which won't be easy, if he does beat him, hopefully, you know, that's just him taking a little break, you know, by fighting some guy out of the pub, and then he gets back to business. Because AJ has to remember he is going to be considered the world champion. You know, so there's no doubt about it. AJ has a point when it comes to Tyson Fury taking on easy fights, but Deontay Wilder has been calling out everyone. Deontay Wilder has been calling out everyone, okay? Deontay Wilder, he just agreed to fight back-to-back King Kong Ortiz and Tyson Fury. His 2 toughest fights of his career, he agreed to fight them back-to-back. No one does that. If you guys have been watching boxing as long as I have, then you know usually when a fighter has a very, very tough opponent, he never wants to revisit that fight again. Perfect examples: Oscar De La Hoya versus Ike Corte, Oscar De La Hoya versus Pernell Whitaker, Canelo Alvarez versus Erislandy Lara, Gennady Golovkin versus Danny Jacobs. But then, of course, you have the greats, like Floyd Mayweather, who gave Castillo a rematch. He didn't have to give Castillo a rematch. Gave Maidana a rematch. He didn't have to give him a rematch. He could have walked away from them fights just like Oscar De La Hoya and Canelo had walked away from fights. And that's what makes Deontay Wilder a special fighter. When nobody wanted to fight against King Kong Ortiz, and I mean nobody wanted to fight Ortiz, Wilder was the one that jumped up to fight him. And then when Ortiz tested positive for PEDs, Wilder could have easily said, now I have an excuse to never fight this guy. But after testing positive for PEDs in the past, Deontay Wilder still agreed to fight him. Nobody was demanding him to fight him after that. That was something that Wilder wanted to do personally. He wanted to show Ortiz that he could beat him no matter what it is he's doing. So yeah, nobody can ever say that Deontay Wilder has been avoiding anyone. Deontay Wilder is the only heavyweight, at least at this time right now, that has always been willing to take on all comers, at least when it comes to champions. I mean, even Andy Ruiz has taken a little bit of a different approach compared to AJ, because Andy Ruiz, as soon as he beat AJ, he said, I want Deontay Wilder. He called out Deontay Wilder. And once again, AJ, right now, he's saying, don't ask me about Wilder or Fury. Now, there's no doubt about it, Wilder and Fury, they will be fighting against each other before AJ could even fight them. So AJ doesn't have to focus on them right now, Wilder and Fury. That's understandable, because he still has to get past Ruiz. But if we get a winner out of the two, Wilder and Fury, if Deontay Wilder gets past King Kong Ortiz, then of course the boxing world, they're going to expect AJ to then say, I want that guy. I want the winner of Wilder versus Fury. Regardless if it's 2020 or whenever it's going to be. Hopefully that's how this all plays out, because boxing fans obviously want a conclusion in every division. Boxing fans want to know who the best heavyweight in the world is without any dispute, right? So with that being said, I'm going to end this video. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.
External rotation of the shoulder and back in.